Welcome back, y'all. I know it's been a hot minute, but here is my attempt at vlogging. Chloe was not able to come with us this weekend. She had some things come up at home. So between me and Martin, we are going to try to vlog and send it to Chloe and she can put it together and you guys can see show weekend. So this is my official vlogging video for the 2026 Rising Phoenix, Arizona Pro Wellness Pro. We will be competing on Saturday, August 22nd, and we're going to take you through the ins and outs of how we are doing things a little bit differently for this peak, how things are going, and how things turn out. So here we go. Okay, so one of the things that we think have impacted past peaks is my blood sugar getting a little wonky. So we've been able to keep control of it coming into the show all the way through prep, and we're going to make sure that we monitor it through the carbs as we start carving up. So I just did my fasted pump workout. I'm going to take my blood sugar, make sure it's below 90, and then we will start eating. Ta-da! Yay! So boss already gave me like the tentative carb up program for today, with the caveat of not eating until my blood sugar is under 90 again. So that'll make sure that I'm shuttling the carbs appropriately, pulling them into the muscle how we want to fill out. And if I check and it's above 90, then we'll wait a little longer, give my body more time to process things before we start eating the next meal.
And what's meal one?
Meal one is 80 grams cream of rice, 150 grams of rice milk, raisins, 30 grams of nut butter. So we have our first meal. Elevate apple pie cream of rice, raisins, HEB pecan pie almond butter, and cooked in rice milk. So I have 2 meals planned of 80 grams dry weight of rice per meal. So I put 160 grams in here, and I'll just split it into 2 meals. So I just will have my meals ready for the day so that if we go exploring or walking around, then I'm not stressed about not having a meal with me. Based on the time that I woke up and got my first meal in at about 8:30, I plan to spread my meals about 3 hours apart today. That should give me plenty of time in between each meal to digest, get my blood sugar good, and then have the next one on time. All right. We are officially 2 days out from the Rising Phoenix. We got into Arizona yesterday about 3 p.m., checked into our hotel, stayed at a different hotel last night, moved to the host hotel today. We got our groceries yesterday for what I would need for peaking. Brought a few things with us, oats, raisins, things that I knew I wouldn't need a full container of. Just saves a little as far as what we're having to purchase here. Had to get a rice cooker because we knew that the host hotel would not have a microwave or anything. So I will be cooking rice in the rice cooker and probably my cream of rice. We're going to try that out and I'll show you how that works out. Otherwise, there is a microwave room elsewhere in the hotel, but walking back and forth is not something that I want to do. But we started carbs today. Like we showed you guys we are really keeping a close eye on my blood sugar. So we do think that that has had a huge impact in previous preps and especially peaks. So we're trying to keep that controlled. I'm checking my blood sugar before every meal. I won't eat unless it's under 90. If it's not under 90, the plan is for me to go on a walk, wait some more time, allow my body to process the carbs before we introduce more so that we make sure that they're getting shuttled correctly and how we want them for peaking. So far everything's been good. My blood sugar's been between like 70s, 80s, which is phenomenal for me. And the ideal range really for any competitor when you're eating carb meals, especially for peaking, you want everything as controlled as possible. So that's been going well. Other than that, I washed my hair today, straightened it, and took a nap. So I've done a whole lot of, not a whole lot, which is good. It's been nice. I don't do that often. I'm very much a busybody and I like to get up, move around, stay busy. So it's kind of forced me to chill out. And the carbs have made me sleepy. I think it's knocked some of the inflammation off and is my body's absorbing it. I'm resting. Hopefully I'll get like a full night's sleep tonight. Up until now, I've been maxing out at about 6-ish hours of sleep. So last night I was very conscious not to go to sleep too early, especially with the time change. I was very tired at like 7 p.m. So I stayed up until about 9:30. Got about 6.5 hours of sleep last night. Hopefully that continues tonight and tomorrow night. But we are almost done with the day. So I've had 4 out of my 5 meals so far. Took my nap, went down and got me a coffee as a pick-me-up so I can stay up late enough tonight. The only thing we have left on our to-do list today is probably walk around the outlets. There is an outlet mall in walking distance to the host hotel. And I need to start my tan tonight. So we'll put on a layer of super dark pro tan tonight, let it sit, I'll rinse in the morning, and then they'll take over spraying me tomorrow. I have 2 appointments for that tomorrow, check-ins tomorrow, and that is really it. Just finalizing the peak, waking up on Saturday, and being ready to go. So that is where we're at now. My last meal will be oats. I'll show you that in a little bit, and maybe whatever I may find at the outlets.
Y vente conmigo, ella es como un Goya, no tiene precio si así baila, imagina cómo folla, tiene algo oscuro cuando lo enseña, conmigo es otra historia, con esa carita nunca dirían que conmigo es otra historia, conmigo es otra historia. Si no fuera por ella no podría querer. Fue como volver a nacer. Yo le doy de mi arte, ella me lo hace ver.
What are we doing?
¿Cómo lo voy a querer? Quedarme contigo si lo hago tan bien. Si lo hace tan bien. Yo sé que lo quiero y tú también. Sé que tú también.
What are we about to do, babe?
Final check-ins for boss before we go to bed, because it is the night before the show. We'll send these, see what he says, and then it's lights out.
Ella es como un Goya, no tiene precio si así baila, imagina cómo folla, tiene algo oscuro cuando lo enseña, conmigo es otra historia, con esa carita nunca dirían que conmigo es otra historia, conmigo es otra historia.
Good morning. It's show day. I just sent pictures to boss. He's very happy. I slept decently well last night, got about 5 hours of sleep, woke up at around 4 in the morning, couldn't go back to sleep, but that's okay. Feeling good. Gonna start with meal 1. We'll have tan and makeup here in a little bit. We'll get the morning kicked off and we will be on stage very soon.
Una noche más, como antes, solo piénsalo. Hay una miradita, hacerte cosas me invita. Desde que te vi yo supe, serías mi problema favorito. Que los vecinos me disculpen, pero esta noche te necesito. A poca luz, el cielo vuelve a arder. Toda la noche, hey yeah. Qué ganas de comerte a besos y ser contigo todo a besos. Dime si te pasa igual o si soy solo yo, o si soy solo yo. Qué ganas de comerte a besos y ser contigo todo a besos. Dime si te pasa igual o si soy solo yo, o si soy solo yo. Quiero darte suave y duro, duro y suave. Ese cucu me tiene grave. Antes que la noche acabe, quiero recordar cómo tu cuerpo sabe. Give me more. Eres el delito que con gusto repito. Pago condena si vale la pena. Total contigo está mi paraíso. A poca luz, el cielo vuelve a arder. Toda la noche, hey yeah. Qué ganas de comerte a besos y ser contigo todo a besos. Dime si te pasa igual o si soy solo yo, o si soy solo yo. Qué ganas de comerte a besos y ser contigo todo a besos. Dime si te pasa igual o si soy solo yo, o si soy solo yo. Una noche más, como antes, solo piénsalo. Hay una miradita, hacerte cosas me invita.
And presenting our first place award, sponsored by Alpha Queen Apparel. If you could step forward, we're going to give that #1 spot to number 48, Alexis Drury.
That's my goal!
Alexis is now qualifying for the Olympia. And we have additional prize money sponsored especially by our wellness sponsor, Wolfpack.
That's my girl!
Congratulations, Alexis. This is our top 5 wellness.
Thing that I've brought to stage before, that took a lot from the beginning of the year to figure out, and really being meticulous about every single thing that we're doing every single day. We're gonna keep doing that, and I plan for the package of the Olympia to be better than today.
Now, I feel like you're being vague. Am I the only one that wants to know, like, what are you doing though? Right? Can you give us any hints?
Yeah, so I am like pre-diabetic. I have been since I was 18. So keeping my blood sugar in check has been a very large hurdle. So that's something that we've been meticulous about since May. Made this prep extremely smooth compared to the past preps. So I think that's kind of our secret key.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that, because a lot of times people assume that we're all fit and healthy, but we're not dealing with any health issues. And it's actually the opposite. Most of us are dealing with health issues, but we overcome them. Alexis, congratulations. Thank you so much.
All right, y'all. We are finished with the Rising Phoenix. And we brought home the win. This was a very amazing show for a lot of reasons. The weekend went spectacularly. This was the first show that just Martin and I traveled to together. No videographers, no like of our close friends traveling with us, staying in the hotel or Airbnb with us since 2024 when I competed in Miami. So it's been a hot minute since we've had that calm of a weekend. And it was really cool for us to just interact and make things flow the way that they needed to leading into the show, especially with Martin there in person. As always, he always gives feedback to boss as we're making the final plans coming into the show. But it worked very seamlessly because there weren't a ton of extra variables, input, keeping up with people, just distractions, which are always good. I love when our crew can travel with us, but it was very nice to have that change and just have he and I together making things roll seamlessly. I gave you a little recap on prejudging. Finals went pretty smoothly. It was a very long finals, extended a little longer than we anticipated, but we still got out a reasonable time. I think we were done by like 8, which is awesome. The show was run extremely smoothly. We knew when we needed to glaze, when we needed to be backstage, all of that stuff. They gave us very good direction as far as what to expect, what was going on. So that was fantastic. The stage was a bit slick. So when I get my stage video of my routine, some of you may be able to see it, most people can't, but it was a little slick. So especially in the comparisons, that first quarter turn, I had to get my grounding and kind of figure out where my traction was and how I should transition. So for those of you getting ready for your first show, it's very important to practice on different surfaces so that when you get to show and you're throwing a curveball, you know how to adapt on stage. But first place, I think the scorecard showed that I was in a good spot prejudging and finals. And then the feedback that I got was from the head judge, Mo, and it was the best feedback that I've ever gotten. She said that basically we nailed it. As far as improvements, I could maybe be a smidge tighter for the Olympia, but absolutely the best package she's ever seen on me, especially while judging me, which was awesome. They did not say add glute density. Obviously, we'll keep working on all body parts to make sure that we stay within what we need to for the division, but that was very encouraging to hear that we nailed it. We were exactly how we were supposed to be. She said that my confidence just radiated on stage, which is awesome. I felt very good going into the show. I told you guys that. I knew that we were bringing my best. We just had to land the plane, and we did just that. And she even gave me feedback on suit colors because she was a judge at the table when I competed at Girl Power back in April in Orlando. I wore the blue suit there. She said she definitely likes the green better from what she's seen on me. And that will factor into what we're doing next because our next plan is Houston Pro this upcoming weekend. So we have shows back-to-back weekends. I will talk a little bit more about how we're doing the peak for Houston Pro in the next video, but it was really good feedback, especially for what we need to fine tune coming into this next show and ultimately into the Olympia. The peak went very well, peaked with carbs, very similar to how we have in the past, but less aggressively. So same types of foods, the rice milk, the cream of rice, all that stuff, just lower amounts. So in the past for Texas Pro last year, I think I did 120 grams of cream of rice for every meal for like 6 or 7 meals the 2 days leading into the show. This time we did 80. So, and we only did 5 meals. So less carbs overall. And then the other strategy was I would not eat until my blood sugar was in a specific range. So boss determined 90 or below. If it was higher, I wouldn't eat. I would move around, wait some time, check it again, make sure that it was below 90 before I would have my next meal. And that ended up timing out to about 2 hours, 45 minutes, 3 hours between each meal. And my blood sugar stayed very well controlled. Was like 60s to 80s when I would check it before a meal. And we're hoping that was the magic key that we needed to find. So we peaked very well. We pulled water down going into the show just to make sure everything leveled out. And then Martin was backstage with me looking over as I was pumping up, making sure that my glaze and everything was perfect. And as a team, we all came together. I had my close friends, Amber and Lindsay, were very closely behind the scenes, asking for updates, asking how things were going. And every time I sent them updates, even Lindsay's husband was asking for updates. And every time I sent them updates, it was just better. And that's the feedback they gave me. I knew that they won't blow smoke. They're not going to tell me that I look better than I do. But it was definitely my best package going in, and that was very encouraging to know. And knowing that they were watching from afar, they were actually heading into their peak weeks, which is why they were not in Arizona with me. Um, so it was cool to, even though it was just me and Martin, it was, everyone was still there, everyone was still supporting. And it's really important to make sure that your relationships that you have in your life, bodybuilding friends, non-bodybuilding friends, stay strong, because it is not going to feel the same even if you do pull out a win to do it alone. You don't have anyone to celebrate with. You go home and the relationships that you should have, the people that you should have supporting you, that you can, that know the ins and outs of the things that went on, aren't there. That's not a position that you want to be in. And ultimately, that's not going to help longevity in the sport. So I just want to stress that to you guys, that I'm very thankful for them. Really, Martin, Lindsay, and Amber have been in my bodybuilding story since the beginning in some way, shape, or form. And it's cool to have success later on, and those people are there from the beginning. They know the trials that you've gone through, they know the ups, they know the downs. So if you don't have that person, figure out how you need to repair those relationships. Ultimately, when you get on stage, it's a very individual sport. It's only you up there, nobody can help you. 99% of the time, your coach in the audience yelling cues out to you is not going to be effective. But to get to the stage, it's a team. I have my coach, Stefan Kinsel. He's extremely good. Even when things go wrong and he's not sure exactly wrong, he's not afraid to say that, and he's not afraid to help you figure it out. Just trial and error. Dig into things, research things, figure out what might be your solution. I have Martin, who is also coached by him, and they both understand my body in a different way, so they can bounce ideas off of each other. I have my team, my girls, and I don't think it would have been at least even the same feelings, even if I had still walked away with a win this weekend, without all of those people in my corner. Most of you know from Instagram, social media, we actually went to Italy about 3.5 weeks out from Arizona. I was still planning Arizona Pro. I bought the flights to Arizona right before we left for Italy. We were in Italy for, I think it ended up being 12 days because we had a flight cancellation and we were stuck an extra day. And we lived out of hotels and Airbnbs, and my prep still prepped. So don't be afraid to travel. If you haven't traveled in prep, maybe start with a smaller trip and not something overseas, but it's definitely doable. It just takes a lot of planning, knowing what you're taking with you, what you can get there as far as the food that you need, how you're going to cook it and prepare it. But we had an amazing little vacation in Italy. The only downside was that I couldn't try any pasta, but everything else went very smoothly. And I think I basically finished my prep there because I came back ready to go into peak week the next week. But that is how we live our lives at this point. We travel quite a bit, either weekend trips or middle of the week trips or 12-day long trips overseas. We figured out how to make things work. You got to keep your meals simple. You're not getting crafty in a kitchenette in a hotel room. And you just have to plan ahead. But if you have those two things, pack your meals and you're out for the day. You can walk around Rome. You can do whatever you want to be doing as long as you have the right mindset around it. But prep doesn't have to completely hold you back. Okay, so plans going forward. I am competing in the Houston Pro this upcoming weekend. One, we want to make sure that we can duplicate the peaking process. In the past, I've had one really good peak, and then the next one may be subpar. And if I do a third show, it's even less than that. But with the blood sugar in control, inflammation down. We're thinking that we can do it again. So that is the plan. The other thing is it's 40 minutes from my house, and I want to compete in the show that's in my town. And it's the first year of this show in a very long time. So that is our plan. We will have our next video going over the ins and outs of peak week for that, how the show goes. Tentatively, a very similar plan, but every peak is different, every show is different. I'm very excited, and 2 wins will officially qualify me for the Olympia this upcoming weekend. The end of the qualification dates to go into the 2026 Olympia, and I'm at this point technically should be qualified off of points, but I told you guys at the beginning of the season I wanted 2 wins, and that is still what I want. So we are going with that in mind. That is the goal. Competing at home, hometown show, and it should be a good time. But make sure that you like, subscribe, comment what you want to see as far as upcoming videos, the next show day video. I will have Chloe then. So it won't be a vlog format. You'll be back to your normal visuals as far as the things that you get there. And it should be a good time. But we're wrapping this one up with a Rising Phoenix Wellness Pro win. And I will see you guys next time.